So this video is just a brief overview of how we do profit maximization analysis. This is the baseline, the groundwork for all future optimization, and it is the biggest bang for the buck for a store that has not been audited yet. So this is how we start the projects typically, and we do that for a good reason. So with a good groundwork, we don't just randomly start optimizing things, as they say. Rather, we're able to move toward a strategy with a systemized way, and especially important here is working on priorities first, because you can go and do things tactically, implement 100 different growth tactics, and it will just not work, considering the whole of the site and how it flows, etc. So let's jump into this. There's 3 key objectives we have for any profit maximization analysis. This might be slightly different, but they tend to be pretty universal. Every e-commerce store wants to scale their traffic, and to do that, you need to be able to buy more traffic to be more competitive on that part. However, in order to buy more traffic, you will need to increase your revenue per user and profitability per user. Not necessarily both, but at least profitability per user. So the more you make per visitor, the more you'll be able to scale your traffic, and not only scale it, but scale it profitably. So either scaling your traffic or making more money out of your current traffic. We can do that with an actionable roadmap on guiding you what to change in order to help enable you to progress with your site with minimum additional time. So that's the general thread with this audit. Now, there are dozens of stores we've audited over the years, been doing this since 2016. So that's where we've also seen an evolution of the audit, and it is my baby. I've worked on this product for years. And there's a few different parts to it now. There's the profit maximization plan, which is a long PDF of actionable changes with suggestions and reasoning. We'll go into that a bit deeper later. And then we have change prioritization roadmap, mapping out those changes from the profit maximization plan for ease and impact, so you can have a prioritized list of suggestions. And then we have a technical analysis, which is a technical tester going through the site with different mobile devices and browsers. So this sounds interesting. Let's move on, and we'll start from the profit maximization plan here. So this is meant to be a roadmap going forward. Now, you don't need another list of general suggestions. We've all seen these lists of 101 tactics to grow your e-commerce store by improving the conversions, etc. The approach we took is we provide problem and solution statements, and this guarantees that we are actually solving issues, not just providing random pointers, and not just giving out these generic improvement tips that anybody could do if they have Google. So if you're just looking for some quick tactics to help, this is not for you. You can use that same method that I just listed to get into that tactical overwhelm. But the key here is adapting the situation, working strategically, and then making sure that we are solving real issues and not just randomly growth hacking or whatever they call it these days. And this thing, as we just discussed, is very thorough. So here's a quick example. So in this one, we do provide a general overview first. So this is telling us what is happening or what has happened, but it doesn't tell us why. So here we'll see what the potential issues are, what could be causing problems, and then we dive into that. So here's copywriting feedback, and then there are a lot of on-page suggestions regarding the changes. And then we also list a few different things here to help you with the tracking and email in general. Provide a short testing roadmap to help you going forward with that. And then conclusions. So let's jump back to here, and I'll outline you how we do this. So the ongoing or on-page, page-by-page analysis will give you context on what is wrong with the site right now, from conversion and average order value optimization perspective. And this helps you understand the problems internally and to also understand the reasoning for changing these elements. And key here is to go from problems to solutions. So if we cannot define the problem, there is no problem. Now, next up, turning those problems into solutions. And it's not only problems that are on the page. Often it is just as problematic what's not on the page. Then we turn those into actionable recommendations. And the changes here are easy to understand for both the client and the developer. They're often combined with examples and often combined with wireframes as well. This is important because by having a roadmap, we minimize the need for the client involvement for the first few weeks. Then this allows us to improve the store faster going forward when we might move into an ongoing model. However, this audit is meant to work by itself. So it is a document that is so well explained that you don't need us to ongoingly implement it if you don't want. So here is the implementation roadmap then. This document lists the change suggestions from the profit maximization analysis for these expected business impact and implementation ease criteria to provide a total score. And this ranking then provides a practical and straightforward way to start implementing the site improvements. So that's a thing where we'll be able to itemize the suggestions, and that way it's a lot more manageable than having 40 suggestions that you can't easily refer to. Then the third part is the technical analysis. Almost all sites have some kind of technical bugs, and these are then often eating away at your results without you knowing it. And this is why it's so crucial to make sure that the key pages of the store have a flawless technical setup for the most popular devices, browsers, and screen sizes. So in this technical analysis document, we outline individual problems with the operating system and the browser, and then screenshot/video them to provide context here. So that's the actual result part, and have a priority for ranking these changes. So here it is again done in a way where a developer can understand from this point what is the issue. They can see the result, they know which page it is, so prevents questions. Preventing questions is so important, saves time, and of course saves money as well if you are paying people. So that's huge. Now then, putting that audit into practice. So how do we do that? The most important thing there is that the recommendations are both clear-cut and actionable. So they are understandable and they are so practical that they can be then just implemented. So the developer doesn't need to think about it. Because if the developers or the internal team are not able to implement this, then nothing happens. You'll just end up with a report, and we definitely don't want that. Anyway, let me know about this, and hope you enjoyed the presentation.